Hello, this is Julie Hogue of Vegetarians and Meat Lovers Split Table Recipes. Today I'm going to talk about salads. Salads are so much fun, and I got summer on the brain because it's cold here in Minnesota, and so I'm thinking salads. And I don't know, for some reason we tend to eat more salads in the summer, maybe because we don't like as many hot dishes, hot foods. But anyway, you can have it any time of year, but I got salads on the brain. The other thing I want to say about salads is it's the Super Bowl weekend, and salads are a great addition if you're doing an appetizer type of meal or food for a party. I mean, salads are really a great party food. They are a great way to add bulk and some healthy stuff. You know, we are having all these kind of heavy, greasy, snacky foods. Throw in a salad there and people will devour it. So think about adding a salad to your Super Bowl spread. I have several salad recipes I'm going to share. And the first one is one that my boys love. I made it up this past summer, and I've made it several times, and everybody just loves it. And it's really hearty because you use tortellini, cheese tortellini. And so you cook the frozen tortellini, and then you obviously cool it, and then you mix it with all the ingredients, and then put it in the fridge to cool down. So it's a cold pasta salad, but it's cheese-filled. So it's a little bit heartier than some salads might be. And then I also split it and keep one as a vegetarian portion for myself. And then I add salami pieces to their portion because they all like to eat meat, the rest of my family, which is what this podcast is all about too, feeding two different diets. And so this is a really yummy one, and I'm going to keep making it. And one day it'll go in my book that I'm currently building right now, which is Salads and Breads. So this one eventually will appear in that, but it takes quite a while to make a cookbook because you have to make the recipes multiple times to perfect them, and then you have to take pictures and you have to do the write-up. So really it can take you like almost up to a year to create a cookbook. So appreciate that, people who make cookbooks, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication, and you have to make them multiple times. And then for me, it always has to be like the right time of day. Also, because if you're going to take pictures, you need the right lighting. So it gets to be a bit tricky. I've had times where I make something at a weird time, and then we eat it as a leftover because, you know, it's a cloudy day, or it's raining, or the rain is coming, or whatever. All the trials and tribulations of doing such a thing. So this is called spinach, tomato, tortellini pasta salad. So what you get is you get those frozen tortellinis, and I tend to get the large bag. I make a large batch of this because my family just gobbles it up. I get the 2-pound and 4-ounce bag. And then you're going to want one of those sun-dried tomatoes where it's julienne cuts with herbs. So the sun-dried tomatoes are in olive oil and herbs. So I like to use the one where it's got, I'm not sure if this is going to be available everywhere, but hopefully just get sun-dried tomatoes in oil. And so it's not the dried ones. They're moist. They're in a jar. You could always add Italian seasoning if it didn't have herbs in it for you. But I like to use that 1 8.5-ounce jar of sun-dried tomatoes in herbs and olive oil. And then the next ingredient is cherry tomatoes. And I've used red cherry tomatoes. I've also used the orange ones. I've used a combo of orange and red too. And I've done anywhere from 2 to 4 cups of those halved. My boys really love it when it's heavy in tomato. So I tend to like to do the 4 cups, which is a lot of tomato. And I've done it all the way down to 2, but then they're like, oh, I want more tomato. So, hey, if I can get them to eat more tomatoes, I'm going to put them all in the salad, right? So you slice them in half. And then you want 1/2 cup of feta cheese, 1/2 cup shredded Parmesan cheese, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons balsamic vinegar, and 4 cups of fresh spinach. And then you are going to add, what I do is after I mix that all up, which obviously you have to cook the tortellini and then cool it before you do that. But I then will split it and add 7 ounces of salami pieces to one portion, and then the other portion I won't. And you can split it however you want. 1/5 and 4/5 or half and half or whatever. Obviously, you can modify the salami. It's really good without salami too. That's the way I eat it. You're going to take the jar of sun-dried tomatoes and oil, and you're going to use the entire thing. So that's the oil that gets used for the salad is the oil that the sun-dried tomatoes are in. So you don't need to add any other oil. And then, so I add the vinegar to that, and then I add the tomatoes and stir. And then I add all the cheeses, all those different kinds of cheeses and salt and pepper and stir. It's really very easy. And if you're not going to serve it right away, I think it's best to wait to add the spinach until when you're about to serve it. That being said, though, we eat this as a leftover too, and the spinach does smush down a little bit, and that's okay. So it really isn't a big deal. But if you want it to be more perky and, not kind of like wilting, melting spinach, just stir it in right before you're going to serve it. And it makes a good size bowl when you have this much tortellini. But like I said, we eat it leftover, and it's good for several days. We eat off of it and just eat the whole thing. And the spinach is fine. It just starts to get more saggy as time goes on, but it really doesn't matter because it's bathed in the vinegar and the oil. So it's good. It's just it's a different way to eat it, but it's good. It's a delicious salad, and I've made it camping. I've made it at home, and my boys are really into pasta salad right now. So I've been making a lot of different pasta salads because they just go and get some out of the fridge. And it's just, even as a snack, they'll go get it. And so they're just gobbling up. It's a great thing to have just on hand so that they can do that. Works great for lunches, snacks, add it to a side for a meal. It works really well. So it's a really good salad, and you probably could switch it up and try tortellini with meat in it if you wanted, or even I've seen tortellini with spinach and cheese. So that'd be another way to add even more spinach into it. It's such a great way to eat spinach. It really is. And there's a lot of spinach in here, 4 cups of spinach. And that's a lot, right? You could even add more because it does smush down with time, obviously. But it's a good salad. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so this is an unusual salad, and this is in my book, One Dish, Two Diets, and it's a really fun one, and I made it up one day. I just got this kind of wacky idea, which often happens with me, and then I just want to try things. Like, do you ever do that? Like, I actually did that last night. It was actually really pretty good. I took rice pilaf, and so then I sauteed. It's the kind where you had to, fry it in butter. It's like the pasta and rice mixture. So I took the rice pilaf and some onion and the butter. And so I browned that all together and then cooked it according to directions, which was just add 2 cups of water. And then it had to cook for 20 minutes. But then I added a package of toasted almonds. I toasted the almonds myself in the oven, which is such a good flavor. And then I added raisins. It was such a good little dish that I hadn't even planned. You ever do that on the fly? It was so good. I just loved it. And it was interesting because as the raisins were stirred in, they started to plump up. Have you ever done that? Raisins are, dehydrated, obviously. But if you put them with some moisture, they start to plump up a little bit and get kind of juicy. So they were really good in this rice dish. So think outside the box sometimes. So there's a little idea you could add for and then I added some garlic. I added 1 teaspoon of minced garlic too. So it was really good. I just love that whole toasted almond flavor. It's just an amazing flavor. So that's a way to dress up your rice sometime if you want to do that to rice pilaf. Okay, I got sidetracked there. I'm back to my sweet and spicy surprise salad. And I call this it because as you eat it, you never know if you're going to get a spicy bite, a nutty bite, a creamy bite, or a sweet bite. So it's kind of a surprise because it's an interesting mix. And I just love all the surprises it delivers. You never know which bite you're going to get. So that's just fun and yummy. Instacar, groceries delivered in as little as 1 hour. Free delivery on your first order, $35. Save yourself that trip to the market. Instacart delivers groceries in as fast as 1 hour. They connect you with personal shoppers in your area to shop and deliver groceries from your favorite stores. Free delivery on your very first order over $35. Following the link in the show notes lets Instacart know we sent you and help support our show. Multiple stores available. Shop all of your favorites on a single order. The products you love from your local stores. Hand-selected by shoppers based on your preferences. Delivery to your door in as fast as 1 hour. Instacart highlights deals to help you save money. Don't we all want that? Find everything you usually buy and get smart suggestions for new items. Instacart picks the freshest produce and keeps your eggs safe too. Woohoo! Those are things I want. Try it out today. You will love it. So use a bunch of healthy ingredients, and you don't use any grains for the salad. It is a vegetarian salad, perfect for spring or summertime. And then if I ever have any leftover of this, I take it and I make it into my sweet and spicy cornbread pancakes, which I guess now I should read that recipe here too. So for the dressing, you're going to want 1 tablespoon olive oil, juice from 1 lemon, which is about 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon fresh lime juice, 1 tablespoon chia seeds, 1 tablespoon salted sunflower seeds, 2 large tomatoes diced, 1 cup diced strawberries, 1 cup diced cucumber, 4 tablespoons finely chopped jalapeno peppers, which when I've done it, depending on the size, is usually about 2 jalapeno peppers, 2 cups frozen gold and white corn, 1 tablespoon chopped cilantro. Overfilled tablespoon is usually what I do. And then 2 cups of diced fresh mozzarella cheese, about 3/4 pound. Optional, I've added half a teaspoon of chili powder and 1 diced avocado. That's optional. I've done it both ways. So you're going to make this by preparing your dressing first. You're going to combine 1 tablespoon olive oil, juice from 1 lemon, 1 tablespoon lime juice, 1 tablespoon chia seeds, and 1 tablespoon sunflower seeds, and stir well. You're going to dice your 2 large tomatoes, which is what it was for me when I was making about 2 cups. So you're going to dice your 2 large tomatoes. You're going to have your 1 cup of cut up strawberries, 1 cup cucumber, 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, that fresh mozzarella cheese, which is so yummy, and creamy and moist. You can often find that in your deli section. If you've never looked for it, it's often in the deli section of grocery stores. Finely chop 4 tablespoons of jalapeno peppers and the cilantro, 1 overfull tablespoon of cilantro. Cook the corn per the package instructions and let it cool. You're going to stir together the vegetables and the fruit and the cheese and pour the dressing over to stir and stir it just to coat it. It's delicious when eaten immediately, but it can be stored in the fridge for later. So sweet and spicy surprise salad. It's a really pretty salad because you've got the yellow from the corn, got the green from the cilantro and the cucumber, and you've got the cheese, so white, and there's a nice contrast to the red tomatoes, and strawberries. So it's it's a unique salad, and also that it combines vegetables and fruit together in the same salad. It's quite interesting. And it's a really pretty salad, so it just looks really nice. And the chia seeds just add a little bit of health to that. And I like it too. They kind of stick. They can kind of stick on the cheese a little bit, so it gives it a little bit of a speckled look. It's really good. So then one day, another wacky idea I had. I'm like, what if I turn this into a pancake? I mean, wherever that came from my brain, I have absolutely no idea. Who thinks of turning a salad into a pancake? Well, apparently I did. So it's actually really pretty good. And so I kind of consider that a breakfast pancake. So what you do is you take some of that leftover salad and you're going to add it to some cornbread mix. So these are pancakes that are like cornbread pancakes. So I call this recipe sweet and spicy cornbread pancakes. So you take this sweet and spicy surprise salad, if you have any leftover, or you could do it on purpose just to make the pancakes, and you're going to take it and you're going to mix it with cornbread mix. So the way I do it, it's easy to do it the next day too. If you have it in the fridge, just pull it out, and usually the salad lasts 3 to 4 days, has been my experience. So if you don't eat it all right away, that's okay. And then you can also make some of it into these pancakes. So per pancake, you take 1/2 cup sweet and spicy surprise salad, 1 egg, and 1/3 cup cornbread mix. And when I've made this before, if I have an 8.5 ounce box of cornbread mix, it makes about 4 pancakes. So then you would need about 2 cups of the sweet and spicy surprise salad if you were going to make 4 of them. Salt and pepper to taste, and 1 tablespoon butter. So how you make this is in a small bowl, you combine 1/2 cup sweet and spicy surprise salad, 1 egg, and the 1/3 cup cornbread mix, and stir well. Salt and pepper, sprinkle it in there, stir again. Salt and pepper to taste. There's no specific amount. Add 1 tablespoon butter to a frying pan, and you're going to pour that batter into the pan. It makes a big pancake, and it's kind of thick because it's got that salad in it. You cook it over medium-low heat for 7 to 8 minutes, flipping halfway through when it's easy to flip. Cook both sides until golden and browned on both sides. So don't cook it too high. I do a medium-low heat because you don't want the outside to get too done before the inside's getting cooked. And it's just really yummy because then the cheese melts a little bit and you've got these amazing different flavors together where you've got the strawberry and the cheese and the jalapeno. It's a really unique pancake. If you're making multiple pancakes, I usually remove the frying pan from the heat to cool slightly because it gets so hot. And I will add a little bit of butter as needed to cook each subsequent pancake. Then I will return the pan to the hot burner after it's cooled down just a short few minutes and cook the next pancake. And you might really need to reduce it lower if you find that the pancakes are getting done too quickly or burning on either top or bottom. You want it to cook a little bit slower so that the inside is not raw dough. And then we have eaten it plain or with syrup. And I also like to do cayenne pepper sauce as an option too. So that's a really yummy way. You can eat it just plain by itself, like I said. Maple syrup. I've never tried it with other flavored syrups, only maple. And then also the cayenne pepper sauce was really a fun way to eat it too. A very interesting dish that, like I said, I don't know where it came from. Sometimes I get like really weird ideas and then my brain goes there and I'm like, how did I even think of that? That's like an unusual idea. But these kind of things pop in my head all the time. And it's just, I don't know. That's the way it goes, right? But that's a fun way to cook. Do you ever cook that way where you're like, what could I try that's different? Something outside the box. And it's just a really fun way to create things. I really love to do it. Or to take someone else's recipe and alter it a little bit. Sometimes you have to do that when you plan to make something or you want to make something, but you don't want to go to the store. So we all kind of do that. We all kind of make up stuff, and just it can get you to try different things if you think of things outside the box. Take someone else's recipe and modify it. Use the things you have that might work as a substitution. Like, for instance, for this salad, you say you didn't have a fresh mozzarella. You could use cubes of cheddar or Monterey Jack or Colby Jack and think you're going to get different flavors with that. And so it's a great way to try recipes in a different way, to just even modify one ingredient to something that isn't in the actual recipe. Now, obviously, when you use the recipe, you know that someone has made it before and it's good, so you can trust that. But, thinking outside the box and trying something new is always a great idea. It's always just a fun way to spice up your meal, to try something new on your family. I've done that too, where they really like something and then I might change one part of it and see if they still like it. Playing around with different types of food and different recipes to see what your family likes. It's a good way to cook. can be a challenge to feed a big family. We have 5 people in our family, and when my oldest is home from college, we are going through more food, of course, and basically, my boys are all teenagers, so it's feeding 5 adults. And so it's a lot of food and they're all boys, so they're all big and they eat a lot. So, it's for me, it can be, I have to really plan ahead. I have to make sure I have enough. Like sometimes I'll make something and I'll be like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, that's not enough for 5 adults. So these 2 salads that I brought up, though, are pretty good sized salads. So they make a lot. And that is important when you have 5 adults, right? I mean, think about that. This isn't back in the day when they were younger and they would eat smaller portions. Now they're all adults, basically. I mean, my youngest is 13. So he's, he does not eat less than the other 2 teenagers. Let me tell you. They all eat a fair amount. So it definitely is important to have a big salad. I really like salads. I don't know. I just think it's a great way to get a whole bunch of different flavors all together at once. And you can get a lot of vegetables in yourself just with a small little portion because it's often solid vegetables or fruit. Obviously not for the one that I brought up with tortellini because that has pasta in it. That could actually even be a meal by itself if you think about it. That particular recipe could be working great as a side salad, but it really can work as an actual entree as well because it is so hearty with cheese tortellini. And for the meat portion, it has the salami. Other ways I would love to try this salad is trying different grilled meats. Like say you have leftover chicken from grilling, chop that up and throw that in the salad. I bet that would be good. Or sausage, if you have some browned sausage, or even like sausage and you slice it, or leftover bratwurst. That's a great idea. I mean, take leftover bratwurst and chop it up and add it to the tortellini pasta salad for bulking up or just replacing the salami. It's a great way to do. So always try to think outside the box and see what you can come up with in changing a recipe. And I know a lot of people do this naturally because, you may not have something or you forgot to get something at the store, but do it on purpose sometimes and see what you come up with. I think it's a great way to cook, great way to experiment and try new things, especially if you have a family who's open to trying new things. Like years ago, I could not have gotten away with that whole rice peel-off thing that I talked about earlier with adding the almonds and the raisins because my boys would have been like, what's this? They would have been like, yuck, what's this, raisins and rice? Like they were not open to such a thing. But now that they're all teenagers, they're open to such things. So it's interesting to me too, as a mom, how my cooking has changed through time because of what my kids are willing and interested in eating. And it really has changed the way I cook over time because I used to have to do things differently. Like before, when they were younger, just rice, rice only, nothing added, nothing funky or weird. But now I can do fun things like adding toasted almonds, raisins, onion, and garlic to a box of rice pilaf. What a great way to spice up your rice pilaf too, is to do different things like that. Just take some sort of packaged rice and add all that stuff in. There's so many different things you could do. You could try pecans. You could try walnuts. Try these different nuts. And I think toasting them is really, it just had such a great flavor. Like if I had just added the regular almonds, it would have been such a different flavor than adding the toasted almonds. The toasted almonds were just fantastic. I just loved that. So if you're a parent, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, that it kind of changes through time, what you're going to make and how you're going to modify it. If you're going to add something to it, when they're younger, they're probably, if they were like my kids, like, I am not eating that. What is that? If there's anything added, they don't want it. And so then you're stuck dealing with fighting them or making them something different. So I often didn't do this kind of thing when they were younger. So for me, who likes to cook, I just feel like everything is opened up for me and I can try these unusual fun things with them and they actually will end up liking it and eating it and being like, woo, that was good. And I love to hear that. Try different things on them too. They are often my food critics to see what they like and what they don't like. And it's great to have feedback too. I mean, I liked it, but it's good to hear if they like it as well. So the more opinions I have, the more likely I'm going to redo that or maybe even use that recipe in a cookbook or put it out to the world, because if they like it, other people might like it too, right? So it's a great way to cook. And I hope that you've enjoyed this recipe. I hope you're going to have a great Super Bowl weekend. Add some salad to your spread for the Super Bowl food. A lot of people do a lot of snackies, chips and salsa and crackers and seasoned crackers and nuts and a lot of snacks. But if you throw a salad in there, people are going to eat it. And it's going to be a great way to get a little bit more healthy food into your snack-heavy Super Bowl food. I just like the Super Bowl too because I don't really get real into football, but I just love the whole event of it where we are, making special foods, we're eating it together. I'll watch some of the Super Bowl game and the commercials are fun. The kids get into it. So it's a fun day, even though I'm not like super heavy into watching football. I know football because my boys have played football. My youngest still plays football, but it's not something that I usually get into watching. But the Super Bowl, I usually will watch some of it. And we have food and drink, and it's a little party, whether we go to someone else's house or just watch it at home. It ends up being like an event. So tomorrow I'm going to make some spring rolls for the first time, if I can find all the ingredients. I'm going to go to the store and try making some spring rolls. And I have a recipe I'm following, actually following Lee Shishak's recipe. She's the chef I had on a few weeks ago where she's made several cookbooks, and her cookbook is the Vegan Cooking for Two. But I multiply what she has so that I can make it for 5 people. And she's got some great recipes in there. I have made a couple of them now and I really, really like them. So if you missed that episode, go back and listen. She's got a great array of cookbooks out there. She has Beach House Baking and I can't even remember them all, but go back and listen to that episode if you missed it. She's got great recipes in there. They're simple. They're homemade. They're really good. I think I've made 3 or 4 of her recipes now, and they've all been very delicious. I made the peanut one. That was really good. There's like a peanut sesame tofu. And then, so again, I modify her recipes because it didn't have chicken and my boys like chicken. So the sauce that I put on the tofu, I just put on the chicken and I baked the chicken and everybody loved it. So really, really good. So check out her cookbook, check out her interview, and I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you're having a great weekend. Thanks again for listening to my podcast. You can find my website at juliehogewriter.com where I have a lot of articles on food, recipes, family ideas, gifts for family, pets, family travel, all things to do with being in a family, being a mom, lots of different things there. So check that out. And I have my cookbooks, One Dish, Two Diets, and American Midwest Cooking Quiches. And I'm also a author for YA romance. You can check out my book, Hungry Hearts, which is available through Swoon Romance. So thanks again for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye now.